Okay, new bubbles. No, I didn't induce them from a spray bottle. Those are new bubbles forming in this car. Absolutely nothing wrong with these tools, guys, right? At the DIY level where I'm at, these are 95% of the time, there's absolutely nothing wrong with these. But for a tiny leak, it's trouble. Why? The resolution on these, as most people know, is pretty limited just because of the nature of an analog gauge, and this is not temperature compensated. So a wee bit more about that with this rig. So approaching this from a slightly different angle. I came into some Amazon gift certificates recently, so that afforded me the wherewithal to buy this tool that's really beyond my capacities. But I'd like to continue tinkering with some air conditioning in the future here, boys, so I rationalize the expense in that regard. So what we doing here, you can see we're actually I'm pressurized here with some nitrogen here, guys, to just around 140 psi, which is a wee bit high really, but just about 140 psi. You can see I still have all three lines actually hooked up just as a matter of convenience here. Not ideal for leak testing purposes, but just for convenience I have all the lines still hooked up. And I've actually got the temperature probes hooked up in two separate locations just to get a sense of the actual system temperature that prevails. And yes, there is an actual discrepancy in the temperature between those two lines. It's not just a erroneous temperature display. I put the probes together to confirm that. The beauty of this rig is it actually affords you temperature compensation. So that is to say, as the temperature in my garage here will start to take a dive as we get into the evening. We're not going to be bastardizing the test results on the leak test. As the temperature goes down, obviously the pressure in the system is going to go down, which could lead you to believe there's a leak in the system, right? So we can actually transition in a tightness test mode or leak check mode if you prefer, and we can actually start the test. So you can see here we have two separate values. We have a current pressure, a starting pressure, and a delta P. And again, it will be temperature compensated. So hopefully that doesn't skew the results on us. That's a tiny leak. Is this going to be able to sense that leak? I don't know. It is a tiny, tiny leak. Sometimes the bubbles, the size of the bubble cluster leads you to believe otherwise, but I know from experience, I've been checking this system for an extended period of time. I'll be boring the hell out of some of you guys, you'll know this. This holds pressure for quite a long time, so I'm not sure whether this is going to be able to sense this small of a leak rate or not, but we'll see. By the way, guys, full disclosure, I'm just an air conditioning amateur, just an interested amateur. If I make any mistakes or I'm talking any shit, by all means, feel free to correct me in the comment section. I'm not here to mislead anybody. Oh, I should have mentioned, guys, I took note of the temperature on the two temp sensors there. That will be relevant at the end of the test to actually see the shift in the temperature. So that's our start temperatures. I did note those. Okay, so perhaps this will clarify what I mean by temperature compensation here, guys, right? So you'll notice that the start pressure here was 140 even. Our current pressure is 139.8. So how did we not lose on the delta P there? How did we not lose 0.2 psi of pressure? Well, because we've lost a wee bit of temperature. That's why. You can see the temperature has dropped from our initial figures there, and that's why the delta P itself is still showing 0. So 1 hour and 23 minutes into it, it looks like we've dropped an absolute value of 1.1 psi, but a corrected delta P of 0.3. Again, let's consider the temperature differential now. 18.1 from a start point of, on the right hand side there, guys, from a start point of 19.5, so we've lost almost 1.5 degrees. Yeah, so I think we're right on the threshold of 0.2 and 0.3 there. Yeah, you can see it just transitioning between the two, so a definite a definite, even corrected, even a definite loss in pressure, albeit quite small. A definite loss in pressure. Would you dismiss this as just a fluctuation in the system? Maybe, but keep in mind it is corrected now, so we'll leave this for another hour or so and we'll come back and check it in a wee bit. Right, I guess we'll call that good enough. So you can see we're, what, 16 degrees ish there, guys, from our original starting point. So 3 hours and 40 minutes into it. So 0.8 of a psi, almost a full psi. You can see the absolute drop. 2.1 psi, but corrected 0.8 psi. And quick look at the actual temperature. So that's 17 degrees from our starting point of 19.5, 19.4, I think it was, guys. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. Clearly this is in fact sensing a leak. Now, are you going to have 3 hours and 40 minutes to check every car you're dealing with? I guess that would depend on how busy you are. So nitrogen pressure calculators can be had on the web here, guys. And this is a good one here at this particular website here. Ian from Automotive Solutions actually put me on to this. Credit where credit's due. So you can use this if you have one that doesn't have temperature compensation. By that I mean a manifold that doesn't have temperature compensation. You can use this and get your figures fairly close. So what was our starting temperature there? 19.5. Just bear with me here, guys, and we'll work these numbers backwards. Starting pressure was 140 psi, if I recall. And our finish temperature was, what did I say? 17 degrees, I think it was. Calculate. So 2.5 degree shift, starting from 140 will end you up around 138. I guess you know, because we've got a fudge factor involved here, perhaps this is a theoretical calculation. The limitations that you'll deal with in reality with respect to the accuracy of the instruments you're dealing with results may vary. Right, that's it, boys. I hope you got something out of it. It wasn't a complete waste of time for you. That's it. Cheers. Benny Hill. Genius.